Hey my friend, how's it going? I hope you enjoyed the last video where I showed you around my house. I invited you over so you can see where I live and see what's beyond the background of all these videos that I've been making in my 172-hour challenge. So I really hope you enjoyed it. I know the reason I decided to do that was I've watched a ton of videos from people on YouTube and online, and you learn a lot from them. But sometimes you just feel like what's beyond there. You want to know what's going on behind all the background that you have. So that's why I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you where I live, and again, it's nothing special, but it's where I live for now. So in that video, I also showed you the things that I surround myself with to make me feel powerful. And that's why I'm making this video, because I told you that I was going to tell you the story about this ring. So if you've watched any of my videos, if you've watched one or if you've watched every single one of them, you may have noticed it's pretty hard to miss because it's huge. You may have noticed me wearing this gold ring on my finger, and let me tell you the reason why. A couple of years ago, I think it may have been about 3 years. It's hard to say sometimes because time just flies. A couple of years ago, my uncle, who lived over in New Zealand, he got sick. And the thing was, he kind of just got symptoms that felt like he had the flu. And my uncle, he's a big guy, big Maori dude from New Zealand, big tough guy. And he got sick one day, and he decided, just, okay, I'm going to take the day off work, and I really need to go lay down and just, chill out at home. But here's the thing. It started getting worse and worse, and it was so strange because he had these symptoms of just your everyday cold, but they were way more severe. And when you have symptoms of a cold, you just assume you have a cold. But he got to a point where he was becoming delirious, and he got to a point where he was just incredibly sick. It went from being like the flu to just being incredibly sick. And then I think it was after a couple of days, he ended up in a coma. And he was in the coma for 7 days before he ended up passing away. And what it actually was, he wasn't sick. He didn't have the flu. He actually had swine flu. And you hear about swine flu, especially back then when it was like prevalent, it was everywhere. You hear about swine flu, and you never really think it's going to affect anyone in your family because it's always on the TV and on the news, and it doesn't really affect you until it actually happens to someone you know. So again, he got sick, thought it was just your everyday cold, thought he could just sleep it off, and it ended up him being in a coma. And then after 7 days, he ended up passing away. So I went over to his funeral. I flew from Australia over to Auckland, where I was actually born. I live in Australia now, but I flew over to Auckland, where my family lives, for his funeral. And um, I told you in the last video that I am a quarter Maori or Māori. They're the indigenous people of New Zealand. And we do things a little bit different when it comes to when someone dies, when it comes to celebrating someone's life. That's really what we do. Instead of just gathering for a funeral where we get upset about our loss that we have from our family, what Maori people do in New Zealand, we get around and we celebrate the life of the person, our loved ones. So in order to do that, I'm really bad with my own culture. I forgot the name of these different things, but what it is for about maybe 5 days to 7 days leading up to the actual funeral of your loved one, there is an open casket, and someone in the family decides to host the body. And basically, this open casket just lays in the lounge room where people can come by and kind of, pay their respects and swap stories about the person. And just, it's more of a party than it is an actual, than it is a sad moment. You know what I mean? So I went over there and I arrived after my uncle had been in the lounge room for maybe 3 days. And I arrived, and there was mattresses all around his coffin where people, my family, where we could all gather, and we were just sitting around and just sharing stories and just having fun. It was actually a really great time considering the circumstances. And my cousin Zarek, his name's Zarek, he's a crazy name, Zarek, right? My cousin Zarek, he was there, and he was just like going through my uncle's suit and touching him and doing all sorts of stuff, which was odd to me, but it's like, no, it's cool. This is what we do. So he went into my uncle's into his jacket and pulled out this huge machete, and I'm like, what the fuck is this huge machete doing in his jacket? And it was something about my uncle was he loved collecting things. He loved collecting things, and he wasn't like this crazy guy, but there was something that intrigued him about knives. So they were burying him with one of his favorite knives, which happened to be this big, shiny, awesome machete. Like, what? That's cool. What else does he have in his pockets? And so my cousin went digging through his pockets, pulled out a few different things that they were burying him with, and that's when they pulled out this ring. This ring was in one of his pockets, and he was going to be buried with this ring. Now, this ring is actually, again, it's like a tiki mask, or I'm not sure the actual term, like what New Zealand people call it, but it is from, it's a warrior. And my uncle, he wore this ring every single day of his life. This ring is solid gold. It cost him $1,000 to actually go and get custom made. And it's got little rubies for the eyeballs. And when I saw this ring, I thought, so my uncle is getting buried with that ring that meant so much to him. He's getting buried with that in his pocket. And so I asked my auntie, I'm like, Auntie Vicky, instead of that, would it be okay if I kept that ring? And my auntie said, well, yeah, of course. I mean, you're his nephew. Of course you can keep that ring. So that day, I decided to wear this ring. Now, again, as you'll see, this ring is huge, and it weighs a lot, being solid gold. It's really, really big. So I don't wear it every day. I can't wear it every day. It just doesn't make sense for me to wear this ring every single day. However, whenever I'm working on my business, whenever I'm making videos, whenever I'm just doing anything that I need to be in my power zone, you know what I mean? I have this ring on to remind myself of how powerful I truly am. And not only that, it reminds me of my uncle. Now, my uncle isn't the first person to pass away in my family. I've had a long line of people in my family kind of just dying, to be completely honest. But this ring to me, it not only represents power. Again, it reminds me of my own mortality. It reminds me that my uncle got a simple, what seemed to be like a cold, but it turned into something much worse, which took his life. It reminded me that this life isn't going to last forever. I've said it in a few other videos, and of course I don't mean to be dark when I say it. I mean it to be powerful, to be empowering when I say that everyone on this earth, our days are all numbered. No one knows when it's going to happen. It could be it could be tomorrow and you don't even know about it. It could be 10 years from now, 20 years from now. It could be 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years from now. But at some point in our life, it's all going to end. And because we don't know when that is coming, sometimes you need to get out there and think, fuck, it could be next week that this is going to happen. It could be, next month, next year. It could be, you never know when. So sometimes you have to realize your own mortality and realize that you only have a limited amount of time on this earth. And sometimes you have to realize that you have to get out there and you have to do something with your life now so that you can look back on your life. If you're laying in your deathbed, you can look back on your life when you're getting to an age where you feel like it may happen soon. You can look back on your life and say you did everything in your power that you wanted to do. You can do everything, and you did do everything in your power that you wanted to do. And it all starts with knowing your own mortality, realizing that it's not going to last forever, that we all have numbered days, and realizing that that's a powerful thing to know. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to realize that, because if that doesn't light a fire under your ass to go out there and get what you want, I don't know what will. And here's the thing. When you die, it doesn't matter how much money you make, because you can't take that money with you. But one thing that you can do while you're living and make that money is make it and share it with people who don't have the opportunities that you have. It gives you the opportunity to leave it to your children or your family to set them up. So it gives you an opportunity to really just help people that may not have been able to get that help before. So I'm not talking about going out there and making $1 gazillion so you can be rich and while you're laying on your deathbed. What I'm talking about is going out there and living your life, making as much money as you can so you can do the things that you want to do, but so you can also help other people while you're here on this earth, because I feel like that is what we're here for. We're here to live the life of our dreams because we all can do it. But there are some people in some countries that aren't as developed as the countries that we're in that don't have the same opportunity. However, because we have the opportunity, we also have the chance to go out and not only live our dreams, but help other people too, to maybe not live their dreams, but to get out of a bad situation that they're in and maybe help boost them up to a point where they can go out and make money for their family or their community or whatever it is. So really what I'm getting at is realizing your own mortality, understanding that one day it is all going to be gone just like that, and you never know when that day is. So why not make a change today that instead of maybe sitting on the couch, instead of sitting, just sitting in a cubicle or at a job that you don't like, maybe make the decision that you're going to go out and live your dream instead. You're going to take action and do what it takes to live your dream instead, because that's exactly what I'm doing. And every day that I'm wearing this humongous ring on my finger, it reminds me of doing that. It reminds me of that. It reminds me to go out there and do what I have to do so that when I can look back on my life, I can say I did everything I wanted to do with a big smile on my face, and also be happy knowing that I helped as many people as I could. So that's what I'm putting to you, to realize that this is all going to be over one day. You can't get out of this life alive. It's just, you just can't do it. So why not live the life that you want right now when you're living the only life you've got? Why not? Okay, so that's what I wanted to share in this video. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go and share it with people. Let them know. Share it with the people that you love so that they can get some power from this. And also, I want you to leave a comment below and let me know what you have in your life that makes you feel powerful, that reminds you every day to go out there and live your life to the max and do everything you can to say that at the end of your life, you did what you wanted to do. Okay, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, share it around. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the very next picture. I'll see you in the very next video. Bye.